So this is Stanley. Stanley was, his parents were English immigrants. They came over from London, and they actually met in St. Paul, Minnesota, and they married, and they had their first child there in 1916, Stanley. But Stanley, he grew up in South Side Chicago because that's where they moved. There, his little brother Howard was born, and his two little sisters were born there. So Stanley, he grew up in Chicago, the South Side. It's a tough place, especially in the 1930s. Tough people, and unfortunately, Stanley's father had to stop working early because he got sick, and so he had to stop working that early. That put the burden on Stanley very early to earn money for the family. But he still did it, and what he did was he and his brother Howard bought a cart, and in the cart they put fresh fruit, and they would go sell it to the people in the alleys of Chicago. That was the first way he made his money. But after that, when he got a little bit older, and he joined the Civil Conservation Corps. There they would go build roads, highways, parks, and it was part of Roosevelt's New Deal to employ men right out of the Depression. And so Stanley, he made $30 a month, and $25 went home to his family. So he only made $5 a month, which was not that much. But then again, he was a fighter. He was a tough guy. And one day, coming back from fighting a forest fire, his truck flipped over and crashed. And despite having 2 broken ankles, Stanley still directed first aid to, he directed it, and then he fainted, and because of the pain. I have a newspaper clipping behind here of what they had to say about it. And so Stanley got a medal for that, actually, because it was very dangerous, and he was hurt, but he got a medal, which was good. And after that, though, he went home. He went back to Chicago, and he became a technician, or more like an electrician, for the local steel works. And then he joined the Illinois National Guard. The same day they joined the U.S. Army, and this was before the war started. And that was before the war started. So he joined, and then he must have felt it, because then the war broke out after the bombing of Pearl Harbor in December 1941. And then Stanley, he got assigned to the Field Artillery Anti-Tank Battalion, but he wanted something a little bit more exciting, so he decided to join the paratroopers. But before that, he got a letter saying that his father died, and so he went back home, and we're in contact with his little sister, who was born in 1937, so there's a big difference. We're in contact with his sister, and she has a story that she tells us is that same trip she received roller skates, and Stanley, the good big brother he was, he laced them, and he took her for a roller skate ride around the block, and she said she'd never forget that, but unfortunately that was the last time she ever saw her brother. And so after they buried his father, he flew back to Tennessee, where he was based, and then he shipped over to England. They continued their training, and there's not much to say about it, except the fact that even before he joined the army, he loved boxing. I mean, he loved women, motorcycles, and boxing. But he was a good boxer. He even twice made it to the semifinals of the Golden Glove competition. And while in England, he fought 14 bouts, and he won 11. So he was actually a really good boxer. And but on June 5th, he had to stop boxing because he had to board his plane. I don't know much about the flight over. All I know is that he landed successfully because he was helping men get out of swamps and rivers. And once they regrouped, they got the orders to take a bridge. And that was a very important objective. And once they got there, he got orders to throw big blocks of C2 explosives across the bridge. And these were heavy. and it was a dangerous job because there was Germans on the other side of the bridge, but he did not say no. Stanley, he was a courageous man, and what he had to do was he had to put the fuses into the blocks of C2, and then he had to throw them. So it took a while, and he stayed in the same area too long. And German in the second story of the building, he fired, and he actually missed, but the bullet bounced off his rifle, and Stan was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and the bullet ricocheted off his rifle, his submachine gun, and hit him in the face, and he died instantly. But Stan, he took care of his family for his whole life, and till the day he died, because right before leaving, he made sure all the paperwork was in order for the GI life insurance, and his family got $10,000 after he died. So that provided his family with enough money so that they could live. So Stanley, he was a very good guy, and here he is boxing, and then back here, this is him after he got his wings. And then this was probably taken in the same studio that this was taken in, because you can tell he doesn't have his wings yet. And down here's the newspaper clipping. So there you go. Thank you for listening.